Okay, let's try this again. It has been so long since I've looked at this script. Even if you're moving across a little town, if you're moving with toddlers, it can be overwhelming and daunting to say the least. Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm a mom of two and under, and we just completed our 5th move earlier a couple months ago since we've been married. 3 of which have been with at least 1 child, and this last one was the only one we had with 2. You know how it goes. Before we really get started, comment some of the hard spots that you have with moving kids and concerns you may have about doing it in the future. Today we're going to be talking about some things that we did wrong this last move and some things we have done right in this move and in other moves that would have solved some of our problems if we had done them again this time. So why don't we go ahead and start with the things that we did wrong so that you guys don't do the same thing. I think my biggest thing was that I was in denial about the timing. So for most of the time that we were planning this move, I thought we were going to be moving about a week after when we actually did. And so I did start some stuff. I started decluttering a little bit of my stuff a little while before, and then I did pack a couple of boxes, a month or 2 before we actually moved. But I did, in all honesty, I still let it sneak up on me. And I think the second thing that was kind of an issue, but it wasn't necessarily something that we could have, but something that I wish we could have changed, was the timing of it in general, because it was right near the holidays that we were going to be moving. I think probably one of the hardest parts as well, I mean, all of these things are hard. The third thing that was probably the thing that we could have fixed the most was we did everything by ourselves. So we didn't have a babysitter, we didn't have movers, we didn't have cleaners. We did everything by ourselves. We didn't even ask friends to help us, which usually we do a little bit, but this time we did it completely all on our own, and I wish we hadn't. So since we didn't have a sitter for the kids, I was watching the kids, or was spending time with the kids, while my husband was the one that was packing and moving all the boxes and furniture all by himself, which I kind of asked him not to, but I didn't force him not to. He likes to do it by himself. He likes to see how much he can do by himself, but he's not the same age as he was when we first got married, and he doesn't have as much time to work out and things like that, and so he's more prone to injury and being sore. And so it was kind of not great afterward. He was sore for a few days. And the last thing that happened also has to do with timing, but we pretty much did everything in one day. So we did most of the moving itself all in one day, even though we were just moving across town. I could have been taking boxes in the car throughout the week or whatever, but there was some issue with certificate of occupancy, and because this is a brand new house, I could have potentially, for the few days before we actually moved, I definitely could have been taking things over, and I didn't. So that was on me. Pretty much all the moving happened in one day, and pretty much all the cleaning happened another day that my husband was able to do. Because again, I was home with the kids, and we decided he would be the one to clean as well. So, okay, we do have some good news. We had a lot of things that we actually did right as well. So we'll get into those in a second. But if you have done or are about to do some of these things that I've already mentioned in a move that you're going to do, make sure to give the video a like, and it'll help in the algorithm. So hopefully other people won't make the same mistakes that we did. All right, so here's what we've done right. And I've kind of split this part up into 3 separate things. One was every time, one will be this time for this move, and then in previous moves, I also have one of those. So every time. My husband has done a lot of moving for other people. He has packed up moving trucks and boxes and things and helped people move a lot, just because of who he is in the community and things like that. So something that bugs him a lot is when there's a lot of loose things that you need to kind of throw all together and, move. So he makes sure that we have everything boxed up and nothing is loose. It does mean we have some miscellaneous boxes that just have random knickknacks that we are trying to sort through and things. But anyway, we always do that. And for our sanity, we always label everything. We've had a couple of different labeling techniques that we have done. We have done like colored sticky notes that for different rooms and just written what's on the box. We always write what's on or in the box on the box, but we have a variety of ways that we have made sure that we know which room it goes in. So a lot of times it is just writing on the box. That's how it was this time, how it was, I think, last time too. But I think the third time we moved, we did different colored sticky notes for different rooms. Sorry, my language is very stilted today. I am way out of practice in filming my videos, and the room is different now. So it's making me go crazy. So those are the two things we always do. We always box everything up and we always label everything really, really well. This time because we had two toddlers, we made sure to keep the kids on their normal schedule for bedtime and when they were eating. Their eating schedule is a little wacky normally, but their sleep schedule is pretty regular. And so we tried to make sure that they were sleeping at their normal times, preferably in their normal beds, but there was an overnight where my older daughter was on her mattress, but just a mattress, not with her bed frame, and my younger daughter was in the pack and play instead of in her regular crib or on her regular mattress. Actually, I take it back. Her regular mattress was in the pack and play instead of in the crib. So yeah, we did everything we could to try to keep everything normal. Another thing we did this time was we got the kids used to the move for a long time. We watched this house be built from the ground up, and we visited every week or nearly every week with our kids. So they saw it going up. We were talking about how we would be living here and all of that. So it was my parents that built this house though. So my older daughter still calls it my parents' house instead of her house or her home. And it confused the neighbors a little bit when they were watching her for whatever reason. And she was like, our neighbor was like, why does she call it somebody else's house? I was like, because it is. And it's partially to help us remember to be grateful and things. So that's kind of why we did it, but also so that they weren't like, oh, my brain just stopped functioning for a second. My brain is so fried and I don't know why. Okay, another thing that we did this move that I think really, really helped was the kids' room was the last to be packed and the first to be unpacked. So they had the most stability as much as they could. It was about a day between it. Like I mentioned, one of my daughters was in a pack and play and the other was on a mattress for one night, but their room the previous night was their room in our previous apartment. And then their room the next night was fully unpacked here in this house. And like I mentioned, there was an overnight. So I packed a separate overnight bag for all of us really, but mostly me and the girls. My husband kind of dealt with his own thing because he still hadn't quite finished packing everything when I packed the bag. So I kind of just did everything or did as much as I could with that. So I packed an overnight bag with necessities for 1 or 2 nights. So that included hygiene items, their normal bath stuff. My younger daughter was dealing with diaper rash, so I had her stuff for that. I had my hygiene stuff, like pajamas for everybody. I had enough diapers to cover a day and a half or 2 days separate. And like I mentioned, I had bedding ready for the girls when they were going to sleep. And this is what I wish we had done. And that would be other times we had someone watch the kid, because at the time we only had one kid. It was our first move with kids that we did this. We had some really nice friends that we just asked them if they would be willing to watch her for a few hours while we finished up the last bit of packing and moving things into the house and cleaning a little bit because we needed to make sure to clean our previous apartment. So that was so helpful. And then this friend also helped us unpack a little bit, which was so nice. I ended up giving her a box to donate that was not all of it was supposed to be donated. So that was not so great, but that was not her fault. It was mine for not looking close enough at all of that. So the last section that I'm going to mention is I'm going to mention a couple things that we are probably going to do next time because I really want some of these things to go better. So I really think we could use some more decluttering beforehand. I did a little bit, but it was so far before. I want to start packing earlier next time we move. This will be in a few years, by the way, but I want to start packing earlier. I think that if I do a little bit more often, it will be better. I don't care if I have kids. If I have to, I will hand them markers and they can decorate the boxes. Who cares? But that was what stopped me most of the time from packing, or what I told myself was stopping me from packing, was that the kids were just pulling things back out that I had just put in the box. So I need to stop making excuses, honestly. But the last thing would be ask for help, whether that is asking for someone to babysit the kids while we did everything like we normally do, asking for people to help us pack, help us actually move stuff into the truck, especially the heavy stuff, and out of the truck, or hiring cleaners. I actually think that could be a great idea, is hiring cleaners, but you know, we'll see. This channel is all about motherhood and parenting and some tips and tricks that I have found along the way. Subscribe to the channel if that's something that you are interested in, and watch this video about tips that help me feel more in control of my life as specifically a stay-at-home mom, but any mom kind of deals with these identity crises that I talk about a little bit in this video. So I'll see you there.